Okay.
Hi all, Kelly from Two Crafty Mooses. I'm going to talk to you a little bit tonight about Studio 180 design tools and various things. This is not going to be like a class or anything like that. I just want to give you some basic information, some tips and tricks. We'll start with some tips. Now, the Studio 180 tools don't have a non-slip anything on the back, okay? So what I use is a product called Invisigrip. And this is a plasticky kind of staticky thing that I put on the back of the rulers. And it makes it non-stick. But it doesn't damage your ruler. It doesn't make any permanent changes to your ruler in any way. One of the advantages to this is I know that if I have this on the back of my ruler and I'm working on a particular project and I need to maybe make some markings on my tool, if I put the markings on the Invisigrip, this is not permanent. I can take the Invisigrip off, throw it away, and put a new piece on there. It comes in a package like this. It is, let me see if I can get the size here. It's 12.5 inches by 1 yard. So that is our Invisigrip. This sells for $9, I believe, tax, shipping, and so on and so forth. And I thought maybe I'd take a minute and show you exactly how this works. One of the products that I have from Studio 180 is called a Quilter's Magic Wand. And I'm going to show you what this does in just a minute. But, tip, you can put Invisigrip on the back of this as well, and we're actually going to do that right now. So this is how Invisigrip comes, and I'm not sure if you can see the shiny on that, but there's a shiny clear plastic here. And what I'm going to do, I know my Quilter's Magic Wand is a 1/2 inch wide, so I'm going to cut this just about 3/8 of an inch wide. Right there. Doesn't have to be exact, I just want to know that I have it on the back. So let's set that aside. Okay, now I'm going to go to the back of my Quilter's Magic Wand and I'm going to peel this off of the paper. This is always the difficult part. I probably should have pre-cut this, but then you wouldn't have seen how it works. So if you can see, I'm pulling that off, and I'm making note of which side is against the paper, because the side that's against the paper is going to be the side that's going to stick to my tool via static cling. And I will lay that right down my tool. And I'm just gonna take my blade and cut that little, there's a little extra piece on the end. And this is, hey, there used to be a garbage can there. Okay, so what I have done effectively is make my tool non-slip. So when you put it down, it doesn't go anywhere. Okay, so what is the Quilter's Magic Wand? Quilter's Magic Wand I use for two things. One is hitting my husband upside the head when he does something stupid. Ladies, you all hear that. The other one is this. For example, when I'm making half square triangles, and that's what I have set up here is half square triangles. If I lay my Quilter's Magic Wand, which is exactly 1/2 inch wide, with a laser cut line up the center. So that means I have a 1/4 inch and a 1/4 inch. If I put that laser cut line from point to point on my square, I can draw sew lines. I don't know about you, I find it much easier to sew on a line than I do to draw a line from point to point and then sew a 1/4 inch on either side. Is it strictly necessary? Of course not, but it's a wonderful tool. So that's my magic wand. I have Invisigrip on all of my tools, so if you want to do that, you'll have to buy multiple rolls of it, trust me. Okay, another tool that I use a lot is called Glow Line Tape, and it comes in a package of 3. I do not know the price right now. I would have to check. It's on the website. Comes in a roll of 3 of different colors. What do I use it for? If you're working with a fabric like this, it's really hard to see my lines on my tool. But if I take that Glow Line tape and I put it behind the lines, I now can see the lines in my tool, even though I'm on that dark fabric. So I always have Glow Line tape hanging around. This is what I use it for. It also is restickable. If you need to, you're working on a project, you need to move it from your 4.5 line to your 3.5 line, whatever, you can peel it up and restick it. 3 rolls will last you quite some time, depending on how much you quilt, of course. So, we got some Invisigrip, we got some Glow Line tape, told you about the Quilter's Magic Wand, of course you know about the new rulers, and we talked about that a couple of days ago. Let's talk about the tools themselves. For example, this is the Tucker Trimmer 1, and this tool will do half square triangles. This one is not trimmed, but half square triangles, combo units, which is a unit with 1 half square triangle and 2 1/4 square triangles. So together that's called a combo unit. And then we have 1/4 square triangles, which means you have 4 different colors or 4 different sections. And this tool was made to trim them down. So the Studio 180 tools, the whole concept behind Studio 180 is we're going to build our blocks just a little bit bigger than they need to be, and we're going to trim them back to perfect. So you can see the half square triangle block here. I know that's not trimmed because it still has the dog ears on the ends. Once that's trimmed, it's going to be closer to this size. So, the instructions for the tool come with every tool. For example, this is the Tucker Trimmer 3. It's a little bit bigger. This square right here, this is actually your instructions. It's got a set of instructions in it, okay? But I'm going to tell you, these old eyes, it's a little hard to read that. You can go to the website and download all of the instructions for all of the tools in regular 8.5 by 11 inch size. I find them much easier to read. The other thing I've done, this is my to-go packet. This goes to shows with me when I demo the tools so I can show everybody. But my set is actually in page protectors in a binder. I have actually I have 2 binders because we have that many tools now. I have 2 binders that have all of the instructions for all of the tools. Okay, tools. What else do we have in addition? We have what are called technique sheets. And I'm going to stand up, move around a little bit here. So, for example, I've pulled a couple of technique sheets that use the Tucker trimmers. And let me show you. This technique sheet will give you an additional set of instructions to go with your instructions to make this unit, excuse me. And this is called the shaded 4-patch. So I have the half triangle, and then I have the little square here and 2 triangles there. It's an easier way to do it. Deb Tucker, who is the owner, founder of the company, has figured out how to do that with strip piecing. So it's really a fun unit. What else have we done? Well, how about a curved log cabin technique sheet? So this is going to be an additional set of instructions to make this block with our Tucker Trimmer 3. So you can see I'm kind of a traditionalist in that sense. I have the red center. Traditional log cabins, the home is always where the heart is. So the red heart's always your center. There is a traditional log cabin technique sheet. And again, I have my red heart for my center, but traditional log cabin. Now, why is the way we do log cabins different? It's different because with the Tucker Trimmer, with this technique sheet, we're actually going to add 1 row of blocks here. Then we're going to do a trim. Then we're going to add another row. We're going to do another trim. We're going to add another row. So what you're doing is every time you add, we're going to trim. And so that means that your units are always going to be perfectly square. Because I know, absolutely, when I used to make log cabins, I'd have this would go a little skinnier in there, and then it'd be wide again. It was a mess. So this is much easier. One of our newest technique sheets for the Tucker Trimmer is called Flock of Birds. And that is the Flock of Bird unit. Now, there are many others. The Tucker Trimmers are one of the tools that we have a lot of technique sheets for. So you can do many things. I like it because given the technique sheets, I have a whole lot more things that I can do with this tool without having to spend a whole lot of extra money. So, and I'm going to show you another block that came out quite recently that I really like. We have a tool called the Star 60 tool, and this is a 60-degree ruler. However, it has many extra lines in here. So we have a nice instruction sheet for that. But what we also have is a Star 60 technique sheet for log cabin. So this is the Star 60 log cabin. So I have my red center, but wow, isn't that fantastic? It's a whole different unit. And I will tell you that this class, I'm going to do this as a class, and it's going to be coming up in the summertime. Unfortunately, I'm right at the beginning of show season, and we are just wall to wall. It's crazy. So, another thing you need to know, the Studio 180 design patterns are written to the tools. Okay? So, example, Cloud 9. Great pattern, different from anything I've really seen too much before. This is written for the Tucker Trimmer 1 tool. What that means is that pattern, the instructions, are written specifically for the lines on the Tucker Trimmer 1 tool. So I get asked a lot, is it really, do I really have to buy another ruler? Do I really have to buy another ruler? It's not a ruler as much as it is a tool. And I would never tell you, no, I'm not going to sell you a pattern if you don't buy a tool. But let me tell you, it will make it much easier. So, the decision is yours to make as a quilter. So, all right. Any questions, issues, problems, please ask. We're going to try and load this video onto YouTube so that it lives there permanently and you can always refer back to it. All right. Thank you very much for hanging out with me. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.